Hey guys, Justin Banner of Carbage Online here, and I've got the 2019 Sierra AT4. Now, is this a Raptor fighter or is it a little bit less? We'll have to find out here. This is a 2019 GMC Sierra AT4. It, along with the 2019 Chevrolet Silverado and their SUV counterparts, are all built on the new GMT T1 platform, better known as T1XX. It is a complete redesign away from the K2XX of the 2013 to 2018 full-size body-on-frame truck SUV platform. The T1 is designed to take one of 5 engines, not including any variants, to power these full-size trucks. With the AT4, you have the option of the multi-pro tailgate system, which I keep calling the ProGate. If you want to prevent a load from sliding out of the bed while you have the tailgate down, that inner flap is handy too. At first, when I heard about it, I thought it was nothing more than a gimmick. After using it, I'm surprised nobody else has done it. In its fully folded out form, it's a great bench seat and gives you an easy way to step into the bed while using the handle built into the driver's inner bedside. To put it simply, it lives up to the hype that everyone's praising it for, though it's still kind of gimmicky. What separates the AT4 from other standard Sierras and Silverados is its suspension package. It lifts the truck up 2 inches front and rear without spacers or blocks. This also adds a set of monotube Rancho shocks that are off-road tuned. With that said, don't expect hardcore pre-runner-ish off-roading of the ZR2, but you'll feel comfortable driving around areas around your campground. The Sierra AT4 gets a set of 18 by 8.5 wheels with LT 275/65 R18 Goodyear Wrangler Duratrack tires. Goodyear says this is a 32.3 inch outside diameter and the wheel is exclusive to the AT4. A machined wheel face with dark gray paint in the cutouts and hub center. The AT4 utilizes an automatic 4-wheel drive system with a 2-speed transfer case. The AT4 also has the traction select system and the hill descent control that actuates some part of the drivetrain too. When I first saw the AT4 at the Proud Bird, I thought it was a great start. But what is it really? I didn't really get a chance to really try it until, well, now. And after trying it, I do have some conclusions. So let's take a look. This truck is big. I want to see if this is a good. This might be an accurate look to how big this truck is. And living here in Gardena, it's kind of worrying. It honestly, I think it barely fits in the parking space here. This little Taco Bell, and I'm gonna get something to eat real quick. I think it's mostly from just not being familiar, and it's just, I'm just nervous about it, especially since it's not my truck. But it is definitely a big truck. It is massive compared to my Pathfinder, which I'm more used to driving, of course. So again, it might just be because I'm used to that Pathfinder and it is a big truck. I'm just not used to it yet. So maybe once I put a few more miles on it, I'll probably be used to driving it again. But it's a big truck and it feels it, and you know it. Holy cow. Now, the traditional camera you see is the typical reverse view. But as you can see, this has a little box that kind of shows an image of the truck and what's around it by all of the cameras combined with that this truck has. But here's some really interesting stuff. So you got your typical forward and reverse camera now. And then you have something that actually closes in and shows your hood and the street, including behind you. Actually, I wish I left that up. But look at this. In a way, this is kind of cool because it gives you a near 360-degree look around your truck, like as if you're kind of in a video game. And then you can see behind, the one behind does way better. But that's kind of cool. You can see somebody walking up behind me going to the sidewalk there. And as they walk through. So this part of the camera is kind of distorted, but once you get past that part, it works fine. And then you have, this is the view you saw a moment ago, so you can see how close you are to the curb on either side, or you can look right behind you in your blind spots where your mirrors might not be able to see. And then, of course, you've got the trailer hookup, which is kind of cool. I have a question on the tailgate and trailers. I'm going to try and answer that too. So, but that shows you if you're trying to back up, you've got a camera looking directly down at your trailer hitch, so you can back up with minimal help. So I just got done doing a little video shoot on the actual ProGate. I think it's called ProGate. ProStep, something like that. But it's that multi-tier tailgate that GM has for the Sierra. What's really cool about it is you can make it into a step, or you can make it into a seat. That's kind of neat. But the problem is when you do use it, you can't really use a trailer hitch. Unfortunately, there's no way. It's not in a good spot. So one of the things you'll see with that tailgate is that it can't be put down when you have a trailer hitch. And the reason is because it's literally half of the tailgate. So when you use it, unfortunately, you cannot use it with a trailer hitch, or if you have a trailer hooked up to it. And that's because the second gate will impact the trailer hitch. It is a big truck, but it has some really interesting features when it comes to what's offered. You know, it has things like that dual gate, but that's an option. But there are things like the cameras are very, very interesting. I've in a few new vehicles that have the exterior cameras for viewing, but I don't think I've ever been in one with that many cameras. Holy cow. And it does some really cool stuff. Like you can get a near 360-degree view of the truck, but you can also focus it down to right in front of the truck, right on the trailer hitch, which is really good. And also so you can see as you're backing up to like a curb, you actually have a pair of cameras on the wing mirrors so that you can see how close you're getting to the curb. And even though this has an aftermarket and 2-inch lifted suspension, this is not a very rough truck. And yes, it has leaf springs in the back if you're curious. I'll tell you what, one thing that's helped me out right now that's really handy is this heads-up display, which I never thought I would say that. Honestly, I never did, because I can actually see the heads-up display. Typically, these heads-up displays, you can't see them. Even at night, you can barely see some of them, but this one is very clear, even during the daytime. It has been a genuine surprise that it actually works, and it works really, really well. I can see my speed, and I don't have to go all the way down to the gauges. I can look at my speed right here. And I also have the driver assist warnings on there as well, just to let me know when I'm getting out of my lane and when I'm getting too close to a car, or even when a pedestrian wants to cross. Though it has been fooled here a couple times. There have been a couple of spots where there was no pedestrian, but it signaled that sensor. But there was something there. So while it wasn't a pedestrian, there was something there that it sensed. So that's very good, in a way. I guess it could be a little bit better that it would sense that it's not a pedestrian. It was a car, actually. But it was coming uphill, and it looked, I guess to the sensor, it looked like a person, but it alerted me, hey, there's something up on the side of the road you need to watch out for. So while it wasn't a pedestrian, it did show me, hey, there's something there. So there is something to that. And one thing I will say about the driver assist, I haven't felt where it does braking, but it definitely keeps you in your lane. It will tug at the steering wheel, at least to let you know, hey, you're going over. And you will see a warning line on your heads-up display if you have it done like I've got it. But you also see it go orange on the display here on the dashboard. It's not powerful enough to rip the wheel away from you, but it is powerful enough to keep you in the lane. But that's really it. It's not it's not self-driving. It is just an assist. All right, let's see. Let's find me a place to park so I can fix this. There's a gas station right here. Could they have a big enough parking spot? I'll just park wherever that's not a good spot. Not really a good spot. Right here's a good spot. That's good enough. Like I said, I'm only parking here for a second to turn this off. Fix this. See? Very rarely. Yeah, I'm looking like a freaking scary, spooky skeleton there. I had that gorilla pod in here, and then I took it out. I shouldn't have taken that out. How's this look? That's not too bad, so I'll keep it right there for now. Luckily, most of that stuff I don't need to see. Unfortunately, only one disadvantage of putting the light right here is the steering wheel will block it, but luckily most of the stuff I need to do is mostly just straights. Anyway, so yeah, so far I've liked this truck. It's done pretty well as a daily driver. And what's really surprised me, let me tip this down, I've actually gotten about 22 miles per gallon in this truck. It's like 21.8 was the best. The average has been anywhere between 15 and 18. That's on par with my Pathfinder, a 3.3 liter V6. This Ecotec 3 has really surprised me as far as its fuel economy and its power production. Oh yeah, by the way, this thing ain't no slouch. It's actually a very impressive engine, and it gets this truck up to speed very nicely. You only have to put your foot into it. You just roll straight into it, and it just picks up and goes. If there is one extremely good thing about this 6.2 liter, it's got power and torque that you probably more than you need. You know, I've been driving it kind of like that. Like, I haven't been babying it to say the least, but I haven't been driving it like a moron. You know, I haven't been drag racing it at every stoplight. I haven't been doing anything crazy on the highway. I've just been driving it like as if it's my truck. Like, I don't want to burn all the gas, and I don't. I've been driving it like I would if I owned it, and again, I have been very pleased with this truck. I've been very astounded with its fuel mileage to know that it's going as far as my Pathfinder goes. To just take away, my Pathfinder probably weighs at least 1,000 pounds less than this truck. It has to. It's a 3.3 liter V6. This truck with 6.2 liters, and I think pretty close to 6,000 pounds, and all-wheel drive, by the way. Yes, this does have an automatic four-wheel drive system, so I call it all-wheel drive, so it may not be technically correct. The best kind of correct, as they say. And this truck has been getting gas mileage that's equal to my Pathfinder. That says one of two things. One, this truck is really incredible, and it's worth buying just for the fact that it gets that good of gas mileage and you have that much power. Or two, I really need to put a new engine in the Pathfinder. And the brakes on this truck feel pretty good. It doesn't feel like there's not enough brakes. And typically when you have aggressive off-roadish tires, you can feel a little bit of the squirm every once in a while, but these haven't been so bad. These Duratracks, these Wrangler Duratracks have not been bad at all. But this has been, like I said, it's been a very surprising, very comfortable truck. Once you get over the size, if you're not used to that, if you're not used to driving half-ton trucks like this, it's a very comfortable, very good truck. I can't say better about it without actually taking it off-road. I've been very happy with this thing. I kind of do wish I owned it. Though I still want to see how it does off-road. And the only way I'm going to figure that out is by taking it to an off-road spot. So I'm taking pictures of a few of the screens that I didn't really get a chance to when I first tested this truck out. That's why you're seeing me doing this right now. So welcome to Gorman. Actually, this is Hungry Valley off-highway vehicle park. I gotta get it right. So this is kind of a nice little off-highway area. Again, very cheap to come in for a day. It's only $5. You can come out here and play around in many of the off-road trails that they have. Today, what I'm going to do is we're going to come up to a T-junction here pretty soon, and we'll take the one to the right, which will lead up to these mountains, and there's still some snow on those mountains. I want to check these out. I'll tell you what, let's take this route. So what I'm going to do here, and this is a beginner course, so we're going to be just fine. And I'm going to switch it off to off-road mode. Or on to off-road mode, I should say. Now let's just see how well this truck does. Again, these trails aren't too bad, so it's not like I need an extra lift. This comes with a 2-inch lift from the factory, so it's not like you need any more than that. Pretty chewed out up here because simply of all the weather we've had. You know, like you saw, we have the snow on the mountain still. There was some rain through here. And it kind of digs out some of these trails a little bit. But the nice thing is, it's not muddy. It's nothing too crazy. You notice I'm kind of leaning around and looking around. The reason I'm doing that is because I want to make sure there's not another vehicle or a dirt bike or a UTV coming through. And again, that's something you have to take into consideration as you're driving these trails, because it's only wide enough for me, one vehicle. But they are two-way. You don't have to go this way. You can go back the other way. You're kind of locked into the way you're going, but there are plenty of areas where you can kind of turn off and let people by if you need to. But typically these trails are two-way, even though it's a single track. If it's a dirt bike, it's usually wide enough you don't have to pull over too far and they can get by you. But it is courtesy just to allow stuff to go by when you're driving. Especially if you're the larger vehicle. If you're the larger vehicle, just stop, pull over a little bit, and let the smaller vehicle by. But again, this trail is not too difficult as it indicated. A little beginner trail. Alright, looks like that trail's... Looks like I can go this way, but it looks like it's locked off over here, so I can't go into there. So let's make the left here onto this trail. I gotta say, that's kind of the nice thing about this Rancho suspension they put on the AT4. It does handle this stuff pretty well. Obviously, I'm not flying through here, but you don't need to, especially an open park trail like this. Climb over some of these rocks here. But as you can see, it's not too bad. And look, check out some of these rock formations. These are awesome. This is a very narrow trail. I almost wonder if this isn't like a little river. Yeah, it's way too narrow. Uh-oh. There we go. I was starting to lose a little bit of grip, so I'm glad I put in the 4 low. Yeah, I'm going to turn around because I don't think these trails are meant for trucks, even though it indicated that it could. Looks like a few trucks have been through here. But that was getting sandy right there. I shouldn't have stopped. I should have kept going. But four-wheel drive low did its work. Actually, know what to do. I don't think it was slipping there. I think I just had in 4 low. Now I'm back in the 4 high. You do have to shift it into neutral between 4 low and 4 high. Of course, if you're, you know, an old school 4-wheel drive guy, you know that's, you're supposed to do that. Oh, you know what? I'm going to turn on the inclinometer. Here we go. So right now I'm leaning over with 8 degrees, but nothing going forward and back. Let's see what would be a good spot. Actually, that kind of would have been a good spot. All right, this ain't too bad. Oop. Momentum up. There we go. So here's a decent hill. Again, I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to slow down. Just keeping it 4 high. Ooh, down tree. Let's see if I can't clear that brush. Yeah, there's no way I can clear that. So unfortunately, I gotta find a way to turn around now. I should actually be able to go down this now. There we go. Not too bad. That's a shame though. I would have liked to have gone down that way. I can tell you, while those running boards are great for getting into the truck, they do lower the floor profile. I can't see what some of the owners are starting to say about that. Yeah, that trail's closed, so I can't go through there. Alright, let's see. It's going to be a bit of a gully coming down. All good. Yeah, that's a way more difficult trail on top of that. So, unfortunately, I don't see where you could get to the riverside. I'm going to go this way. Kind of head back through here, heading back towards the entrance, and then double back and head over to the little activity area they've got for trucks. Alright, let's see here. This looks like an interesting looking hill climb. Let's give it a shot. Let's try in 4 high first. Turn my camera on. Of course, it doesn't let me. I'm gonna do some photos, so I'll be right back. Actually, before I do photos, here's something kind of neat. These are cool to find. Just randomly, but they have these all over the place. I'm not looking around, I'm actually looking to make sure there's no animals. Doesn't look like it, so let's go do some photos. Sorry, I've been looking around. Figure out what trail I want to hit next. think I'll go down that one. Ah, so there were 2 paths up that hill. All right. This one should be interesting because I'm not approaching at a good angle. Oh, I'm fine. It's a very handy thing to have, that front camera. Alright. Big bumper here. Ooh-ah. I am clear. Ooh. I wanted to go through there, but now I see those big ruts right there. Of course, when you're far away, you really can't see them. So let's go back the way we came. Again, I don't know why I turned my turn signal on. It's a force of habit. It's a good habit to have, I suppose. I've given myself to about 1:30 to head back to Gardena and drop this truck off. Right now it's 11:09, so again, it's not a bad habit, but it's an odd habit. Anyway, I've given myself a time frame of 1:30 to be back in Gardena so I can drop this truck off. So being at around 11:10 right now, I got more than 2 hours, so I got plenty of time. And you know what? Even with the issue with the running boards, this is still not a bad off-roading truck. That would probably be one thing I would definitely change with this truck. I probably would not get it with running boards. And honestly, I probably wouldn't even get it with automatic running boards if I'm doing what I'm doing right now. Because they just end up getting bashed and they're expensive to replace. So we'll not do that. See, we got a couple of dirt bikers right here. And we'll pull right over here, let them go by. Or not. Bunch of KTMs. Oh. I don't know what that's all about. By the way, that backup maneuver I did earlier today, if I didn't have those cameras, I would have needed a spotter. If I didn't have those, I'd probably be stuck. Or, well, I wouldn't be stuck, but I would have to go through. I figure out which way I need to go. I would be stuck going through there. And unfortunately, it was just, honestly, there was no way. It was going to be too narrow for this poor truck. Yeah, I hear dirt bikes. See them. That's the other thing. You need to keep your ears open. Because you don't know when these dirt bike guys may be coming through. So eyes open, ears open whenever you're on these trails. Because if you don't, it'll be some seriously bad times for you and the poor person you probably just ran into. Now see, if I had a Raptor, I'd be going through that little section because that's a bunch of whoops and ruts. Raptor's meant to go through that. This, not so much. But again, that's not what this truck is intended to be a competitor to. It's more a competitor to the FX4. And again, what I want to say Dodge is either STX or something with an L. I don't remember. Practice and safety training area. That's what they call this. So this is only for trucks. This is only for trucks, SUVs, and stuff like that. This is not for ATVs. It's not for dirt bikes. And there are some hardcore looking stuff out here. Let's take a little drive around. We've got plenty of time. And there are camping areas over here, so you can camp over here and play around and try out so much of this really cool looking stuff. Oh, okay, I tell you what, I'm going to try frame twister. I want to see what it does. Yeah, look at So put it in 4 high. Yeah. Shoot. Yeah, unfortunately, I would not get the running boards. I would probably end up getting something like an aftermarket rock slider, but I would not do the stock running boards. As a matter of fact, I'm going to hop out and see what that did. Yeah, it's not really supposed to be a hardcore four-wheel drive, but it's kind of disappointing you can't go through even the small part of a frame twister and not bottom out like that. But it did fine. It's actually okay. It just sounds like you're tearing stuff up, but you're really not. So, all right. Maybe it's okay. It does lower your center, your ground clearance in the center, so you high center like that. I think personally, I just wouldn't get it. I've heard many other owners say something very similar. They wouldn't want to get the running boards because it does drop the center ground clearance. I have to agree with them on that. And again, I realize this is not a hardcore four-wheel drive truck, but that frame twister is not a difficult spot. All right, let's see what this is all about. Sluice box is what they're calling this. Oh, no. Absolutely not. If I was worried about my poor truck, then no. As a matter of fact, I'll pull over and show you why. Okay, so remember how I said I didn't want to take it over sluice box? I went, no. Let me show you why. Yeah. And frame twister wasn't even half that bad. So let's try the Hillclimb. The Hillclimb looks pretty nice. And there's not a super hardcore spot. So it looks like you have two different ways of doing it. The Hillclimb, you can do the bare dirt, or you can go through some of that. And it looks like some of that might actually not be too bad for this truck. So let's take a closer look at this Hillclimb. Let's see if there's a way to take a line up the stair steps. And if it weren't for those big boulders at the beginning, I probably could. Alright. So, what we're going to do here is we're going to put it in neutral, and we're going to engage 4 low. Because it's going to need it, because it's pretty steep. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to position you about what I am seeing. Okay, you're not quite looking in the same way I am. And this camera probably doesn't give this hill much credit. But this is steep. If I take that center line right there, stay a little more to the right, it looks like I'm not going to have any big ditches or anything that could hang me up. But right now I'm in 4 low. Drop it into low 1. And let's see what we can do. There's some big spots, but it looks like if I stay like right here, oh, this ain't too bad. Yeah, this ain't too bad at all. And now it looks like I'm gonna fall off the end of the earth here. Let's see what it looks like on the camera real quick. It doesn't look that bad. It's pretty steep. But what I'll do is I'll probably go ahead and turn right. But man, look at this view. Honestly, it was worth doing the hill climb just to get this view. Wow. So it did that little hill climb pretty well. I was quite happy with its performance. Now we're going down this, oh wow. I don't think I want to go totally on this other side. I should be able to do this. Good opportunity to check out the hill descent control. And okay, I remember how this works now. Try the Chevrolet Colorado with hill descent control like this. You do not touch the brake. It's doing all the braking for you. So all you have to concentrate on is the steering. Toyota Tacoma's, actually, I think any Toyota 4-wheel drive has this as well. But in comparison, it sounds like someone's about to brake. Whereas the Colorado and the Sierra AT4 with hill descent control sounds pretty normal. If this had been a Toyota Tacoma or a Tundra with this, you would hear it. With this, it doesn't really make much noise. And now we're off. So I like that hill descent control. It's actually a nice feature. So if you're really nervous about, driving down a hill, it gives you a sense of security that you probably wouldn't normally have. Let's hit one more little spot. I've still got tons of time. Hard ditch course. Ooh. Yeah, I don't want to do that one. I don't think. Let's try the lighter. No. I will not do the hard ditch course. It's a bit on the steepish side. But this spot right here is not too bad. Oh, there's the mud bog pit. Should I? That ain't too bad. Here I was all concerned about driving through some water, and it wasn't even really that deep. So the actual driving of the truck, going on the highway and driving as a daily driver, it was really good. Plenty of power, but it had decent gas mileage. On average, for this last 50-mile trip that I did, so that's basically going from Gorman to here in Gardena, I averaged 18.6 miles per gallon. That's astounding for this truck. And I did a best of 24.6 on the way down. This is a 6.2 liter V8, and it's getting an average of 18.6 miles per gallon with me driving it. Now keep in mind, I don't drive like a moron, so I'm usually staying within 5 to 10 of the speed limit, up or down. And I actually still encountered a lot of traffic, but despite all of that, I still got an average of 18.6. So if you don't drive like a fool, it gets really good gas mileage for a 6.2 liter. Now for off-roading, it did very well. It did up to it did within what I would have expected, and maybe a little bit better, until I had to go anywhere where it required me to get close to the center of the truck, like in most of the hill climbing. Unfortunately, because of the running boards, those were mostly making the impact. It wasn't the chassis, it wasn't the body, it wasn't the drivetrain at all. It was those running boards, and man, that kind of killed it. For what this is, basically a 2-inch lifted truck with a Rancho suspension. It's a really good package. You can't beat it for being a factory option. So if you're thinking about getting a Sierra AT4, yeah, I would definitely recommend it. Now, it comes with those catches. I wouldn't get the running boards, or I would have them removed. Now, the other problem, base price for an AT4 is just under $54,000. This truck, as tested, just a hair under $65,000. But to be quite honest, you're getting a lot out of it for that money. It's just still a lot of money. Well, that's it, guys. I've been Justin Banner for CarbageOnline.com. Thank you once again for watching this video. If you want to help us out, like, share, subscribe this video. Also, be sure to share the website, CarbageOnline.com. You'll see a lot more behind-the-scenes stuff. You'll see more pictures and things like that. You'll even see some of the areas where I talk about the ground clearance with the running board. I'll have pictures of that online. So, once again, I'm Justin Banner with CarbageOnline.com, and I'll see you in the next one.